Hi, welcome back to my mother's diaries. We just wanted to do a trigger warning for this episode because we start getting a little serious mid-episode, not intentionally, but
Right.
it just
We didn't necessarily plan
naturally
to.
happened. And so, yeah, you're welcome to skip this episode if you feel triggered by it. We still love you, and you can skip over those parts as well. So, anyways, enjoy the episode. Bye.
Bye. Well, we've had quite a day already, and now we're going to do this podcast.
She is not in the mood for any silly behavior right now. I asked if we could start in a few minutes because I would like to eat a cookie, and then I pulled out 2 cookies, and she said, "You're going to have 2 cookies?"
Yeah, I was.
And I did. It was great. And then I got her in a better mood because I gave her half of one.
I was channeling my mother, who a couple of times made comments about my weight by saying something like that.
So you were commenting on my weight just now.
I don't know
You
what.
were channeling your mom too. Cool.
I don't even know.
Thanks.
I just accidentally lied because
Cool. Thank you, Mom.
What?
I'm feeling. This is exactly why I have a pillow on me right now.
Oh, like me with my Raggedy Ann. I found out from my diary that frequently if I was nervous and there were visitors in my room, i.e. men, that I would grab my Raggedy Ann and hold her, as I quoted myself in my diary, hold her for security.
What
the
the hell is Raggedy Ann gonna do for you?
No idea.
It's actually kind of sweet, but I have questions. So, was Raggedy Ann your doll for years prior? Like, was that your favorite doll?
My high school boyfriend's mother, I think, made it.
Wait, because I had those Raggedy Ann dolls at Annie and Ozzy's house. Were those your Raggedy Anns?
I don't think so.
Huh. Why did they have Raggedy Ann?
Well, maybe I had it. Okay. Maybe I do know that one of my Raggedy Anns ended up getting thrown away, so that's why I'm saying
Raggedy
I don't
Andy? Is that what his name is?
Who invented Raggedy for the first name?
You probably.
Of
That sounds
dolls.
like something you would do. Look at that Raggedy doll. Raggedy Ann was like a big thing in my life as a child. Like I remember Raggedy Ann as like a thing.
Very interesting.
Like Annie and Ozzy had books and the dolls.
Okay.
Were they your dolls? Now I'm like,
I'm very confused.
okay, but I should have. There was a handmade by tag on these Raggedy Anns I saw at the thrift store yesterday, which is why she brought this up.
Right.
Because I was supposed to be here in the morning
Yeah.
yesterday.
She was leaving Portland at 10, so I figured give her
Okay.
4 hours. She'd be here at 2.
I got here at like 5:30.
Yeah.
But hear me out. Well, you did know this. I was picking up a light fixture in Gardner from Facebook Marketplace. It's amazing. I am so excited. It's like 1970s sports themed for like a little boy's bedroom, but I'm putting it in my adult woman bedroom. And it's so cool. And it was $20. And it was from a little old man in Gardner who definitely was kind of holding the light fixture hostage as I stood there trying to get it from him. I did send my address to Ryan,
Oh, good.
so he knew where I was going. And the man said, "Wow, you're very punctual," as I arrived 10 minutes later than I had stated to him. So that was confusing. And then we're just going on my whole day, okay? And then I told you that I wanted to go to this thrift store. I'm actually going to... Oh, should I gatekeep it?
What do you mean?
No, whatever. People aren't... I'm like, should I gatekeep this?
Yeah,
place?
you should gatekeep it.
Okay. And then I wanted to go there, and so I did. And then I hadn't been there before. And then I spent an hour and a half in there, probably. Maybe an hour.
She gets drawn like a magnet into these thrift stores.
I am not pregnant, nor do I have any children, and I bought about 20 pieces of vintage baby clothing. So we can unpack that.
Yeah.
I did say that to the woman today I met at her vintage store, and she said, "Oh, you're nesting."
Oh, good
And I
point.
thought that was cute. And I'm nesting. Oh, I found this
Yeah.
scarf that I'm wearing on my head right now, which you can't see online, but it's like a plissé. Is that how you say it? Plissé. Ombre, brown and yellow. Kind of like the colors of my hair.
It is.
Kind of blends right in, and I love it. It smells like a little old lady. I haven't washed it yet. Don't judge me. It smells like you. I actually said earlier this smells like a little... I said this smells like a dead old woman. And you said, like me.
Yeah. I did say that.
And then I had this feeling that I must go to this Goodwill because you always say it's a bad one.
Yeah,
But I always have good luck there. And then look what I came out with.
Eddie Munster.
Eddie Munster. And if you're listening, I have a tiny Eddie Munster that I bought at the thrift store. And I put a giant ceramic cat back to justify my purchase of Eddie Munster. So
How much did he
a
cost?
win is a win. He was $15.
Oh, that's pretty exorbitant for
I know, but look
a
at
purchase
him.
at Goodwill.
My Pee Wee Herman needs a friend, a boyfriend. So Pee Wee Herman. I mean, if you haven't been listening to the pod and you're just jumping in now, it's kind of like shocking to hear Pee Wee Herman needs a boyfriend. But I do have a Pee Wee Herman doll I bought this summer. I'm 34.
No, we're both about 12.
Yeah, they know that.
Yeah, okay.
So, how are you? Other than me showing up 8 hours past when I was supposed to arrive.
I'm good. I've got some more medical stories.
Yeah, you are a medical
Wonder. I'm a medical wonder.
anomaly.
Yeah. Oh, good word.
Thank you. Do you know what it means?
Yeah, it's a game that you play with real estate. And it has a lot of doctor's offices instead of the little houses and hotels.
All I have to say about that is go straight to jail. Do not pass go.
Do not collect.
$5?
I think it's 500.
Oh,
200.
No. Don't collect any money.
Yeah, no.
Just keep going.
No, so what I'm referencing is at our last podcast, during our last podcast, I told a story about seeing in my medical records me described as a very pleasant 71-year-old woman.
You're going to bring that up on every podcast.
No,
'cause
I just brought it up like here. And then I also described how I also found it in another description of me, that I was a very pleasant 67-year-old woman. And so, okay, so last week, I'm at a dental procedure. Well, I'm not at the procedure.
Wait, what's
I'm
happening?
at a dental person's office.
I thought you were going to say a person's procedure, like you're just there as a spectator.
I'm having my teeth cleaned, okay?
Okay, God, thanks for finally saying it.
I'm having my teeth cleaned. And I'm lying down on the lounging chair.
Yeah, it goes.
Yeah.
With your sunglasses on?
Not yet. And she's checking my medical history. And I can see that it's a pretty big screen computer. And I can see like a lot of text is on the screen. But my eyes went focusing into the following phrase.
Yeah.
Friendly, comma, likes to laugh. And I'm like,
Why am I immediately picturing you at like a kennel or you're trying to adopt a dog and that's how it would be described?
so I go, does that say friendly, likes to laugh? And she was kind of startled.
Yeah.
And she said, yes. I said, is that talking about me? And she said, yes. And she told me that my prior person who cleaned my teeth likes to write descriptions of the patients. And that's what she had written about me.
That's nice.
Yeah. I thought it was really funny considering our whole conversation. So I'm very...
Oh, about how I would describe people coming into the restaurant I worked at too.
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So And then, of course, I started babbling right away. She knew about the podcast. I'm like, oh, that's so funny. Last time we did a podcast, I was talking about, but she didn't get that part. So there was that.
Wait, what if she wrote like? Does she write mean things? Or like
No, I don't think anybody writes mean things on there.
ugly, rude, bad teeth. Ugly, rude, 8 cavities.
Yeah.
Ugly, rude, lies about flossing.
Why am I laughing? I hope Brittany's listening to this.
Oh, yeah, me too. You think she is?
No.
Okay, well, Brittany, if you're listening to this, now, well, no, because you'll probably reach out and say something.
Yeah, so Brittany's a dental hygienist, right?
Yeah, so this is someone that we grew up with.
Right. So it just reminds me of this just reminds me of the dental hygienist story, which I don't think I've told on the pod, but I told, we did a This Is Where about it. But one day, several years ago, my dentist office called, not the current dentist I have, but a dentist office called.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes. The secretary goes, we have to cancel your appointment. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she goes, we're having a hygiene problem. Now, she meant to say, or I go, you're having a hygiene problem? Yes. One of our
the dentist forgot to wear deodorant.
Can you imagine? Ow! Are you all right? Here we go again.
Okay, we gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
I just got bonked.
Bonk was a good word for it.
We're having a bonk problem. Okay, Mom, I'm evicting you.
Yeah, okay.
Ow!
This is the look you had on your face.
I got the corner. I got conked.
We're having more than a hygiene problem.
I thought it was safe because I tucked it within the clothes.
So anyway, the dentist office called and said, we're having a hygiene problem, which and I never said to her, don't you mean hygienist problem? I just repeated, you're having a hygiene problem? No wonder I didn't go back to that dentist. That was the dentist. This is many years ago, not my current dentist. Many, many years ago. That I had to break up with.
Are you nervous that your current dentist is listening to this?
I don't care if my current one is, because I'm not talking about him.
I know, that's why you keep clarifying, though.
Right.
Because
one of my former dentists, of which there were a few, one of my ex-dentists, one of my exes, is performing surgery on my mouth on a Monday morning.
Is performing
I'm their
the Phantom of the Opera.
I'm their first patient.
Yeah.
And I'm a little old lady, and they're in their 30s. And in between them sawing at my teeth,
yeah,
drilling,
song,
they are talking about their wild weekend and using more than once, I would say several times, the F word.
This was in Bangor, correct?
I'm not saying where it was.
Because that makes sense to me. I probably went to high school with them.
So, needless to say,
it's crazy to me. It's funny. It wasn't okay because you told me what was said, and it wasn't okay.
Right.
For many reasons, but you're the person who wouldn't care because you like the story, but it actually when someone actually crosses the line with you,
that was crossing the line when they're sawing at my teeth. And
actually, my most recent dentist said something extremely upsetting, and I will not be going back there. While working on my mouth, I couldn't say anything. I can't even say it because it was
yeah, don't say it. Don't even explain it.
It actually made me pissed off.
Yeah.
And to be put in a position in which you're not allowed to speak up when you hear someone say something so vile is
wow.
In such a casual way. Why are people comfortable saying vile things in such a casual
I
manner?
don't know, but I had a doctor come in the room. This sounds unbelievable, but it happened. This was probably 15 years ago. I had a doctor come in the room, never met him, and he told a rape joke.
That
And it was so bizarre that I couldn't even wrap my head around it really. And so he left, and I said to his nurse or I guess it was his nurse. I said, she starts to explain something about my condition, and I said, "Excuse me, I cannot focus on what you're saying to me. He just told me a highly inappropriate joke." In fact, she knew it because she was there.
her position she's in.
Yeah, she was in a bad position, and
What did she say?
well, I can't remember what she said
Yeah.
actually, because I was just like, I was trying to remember the joke, so that the so-called joke wasn't a joke. Um, and so what I did was I wrote him a letter and said how disgusted and upset I was, and um, it was just totally inappropriate. And so I
Wow.
I did get a letter back from the place where he worked,
Not him.
not him at
Yeah.
that point, and they were going to give him some more training.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but that's a peek at who that man is.
Well,
and
then he called me, and it was not a 60-second conversation. I was driving, so I pulled over to answer the phone,
yeah.
and he said, basically, this is what he said: "If I offended you, I'm sorry." The old "if I offended you, I'm sorry."
If
If.
because me bringing it up to your assistant, me writing a letter is not an if. That's a you did, and that's unacceptable behavior. You
Isn't that
cannot
crazy?
make casual jokes about that
What? Somebody
to anyone, but also let alone a woman. Like,
let alone in a professional setting, let
Yeah.
alone in a professional medical
Just
setting.
disgusting.
Just like,
I will say that the dentist I had made a comment on a similar level
wow.
in a couple different, more like smaller ones, but it was so casual that you almost gaslight yourself
Right.
into thinking like maybe I'm overreacting to this, but like no, some people are just awful. Like,
What I don't understand is, in this environment, just for I don't understand it anyway, but in this environment, people are going to call you out on that kind of stuff.
and they should, and I'm
they
proud of
should.
you for calling him out.
And they should.
Yeah.
But it shows that these particular people have no clue about boundaries or how much they can hurt someone,
Like, you don't know
Or-
what people have been through.
and how, right, you don't know what they've been through, and those kind of words can be threatening
Yes. I mean,
and triggering.
why are you what I want to ask is, why are you comfortable saying, I mean, this is actually a tool that I've learned that I haven't, it's hard to utilize as a woman because you're so used to people pleasing to men. Like, you're
Right.
so used to being like, oh, like gaslighting yourself into thinking like, oh, I'm being dramatic. And it's like, no, you're actually joking about something that could have happened to me, and or like that's harmful in so many ways, because joking about things like that makes it okay, like it's that's a slippery slope to, like, if you're so comfortable saying that at your job, what are you doing at home?
Right.
It's
What do and I think it was probably a joke that he'd told before, and it was just crazy.
The other dentist that I was about to go to, this is crazy. The dentist lore goes deep. We do know a really great dentist, though.
Yes, we do. And
As like a
this has nothing to do
No.
with him.
He's amazing, and so that gives
That's
me
why we
hope.
kind of compare. Like,
Well,
I know
yeah,
that
it's just
that
like-
person would never,
No, but
never.
I had signed up. I had like gone through the process of filling out all this paperwork and stuff in 2020 for a dentist, and I hadn't seen someone in a while because I had a lot of dental anxiety, and their whole thing was about like helping, like making a calm environment and like really good reviews, whatever. So I go through all the paperwork, and then Ryan sent me a screenshot of that dentist in a white power rally and commenting on Facebook posts about like running over Black Lives Matter protesters. And so I took those screenshots and I sent them in an email and I said, delete me out of your system. Don't you ever send me another damn email. And I went off on why that was wrong and disgusting. And you portray yourself as a safe space and how that's a lie because you're actually saying go run over people peacefully protesting.
That's
saying
terrible.
Black Lives Matter, disgusting behavior. You are disgusting. And then it's unbelievable to me that this, like, just sitting here talking about this, I'm like, how have we had these 3 interactions with 3 different dentists?
Yeah. And just think about it. If we're having those reactions, white privileged women.
Yes.
Then
exactly. It's just like, it's horrific. And it just, I can't understand just being, I mean, we've had this conversation so many times off mic about being complicit. And like, I think, and just telling these stories now, I'm like, this is why I get worked up. And like, I feel like I need to say something is because you do it. You've always done that.
Right.
And I think that's really cool. Anyways, it's just baffling to me that people like that exist and actually, like, at their core, do not care.
Yeah.
Like, they're not hiding it. They're not trying to hide it. And that's what's scary. I'm like, and what, like, I'm so scared of these people in their comfort of their own homes.
Right.
Because, wow.
Yeah, what are they doing and saying?
Yeah.
Under a different environment.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we already talked about this too. Sorry, this is turning into a more serious podcast episode. Which we just discussed how we don't want to do a serious
we were in the mood to do something serious.
But I think the nature of this podcast is going to kind of turn serious sometimes, and that's okay. But I just had an experience at a doctor's. Did I already talk about this? Where this was about 1.5 years ago, and I was in a very, very, very dark mental space. I think this is okay to talk about. I feel okay talking about it if you feel okay talking about it. But they go through the list with you at the office and like, are you depressed? Yes. Do you have suicidal ideation? And I said, yes, sometimes. And then I tried to discuss how I have found after tracking my periods that I feel suicidal the week prior to my period. And I feel so much like I just feel like I don't want to be here. And when I said that, the woman helping me was just, it's not funny. It's just like crazy to me. Like, I'm like, yeah, like you say, do you feel suicidal? Yes. Okay, moving on. And I was like, oh, I would like to discuss that because I'm curious if there are like testing for PMDD or like I've done some research on it. Like I am curious, and people with ADHD tend to get, or women with ADHD tend to have PMDD. So I like, this is accessible information on the internet. I'm not being like I'm not saying I know what a doctor knows, but like at the same time, I am researching how I feel in my own body and like concerned about that feeling of not wanting to be here because most of the month I don't feel that way.
Right.
And
obviously a huge red flag or a huge something that needs to be discussed.
Then I was like, oh, I would like to like continue discussing that. And she shrugged and said, a lot of women feel that way on their period. And then,
No.
and then moved on. And I was just like
No.
too shook to react, it's like, and so then, I'm really sorry. Now that I know men listen to this, but I'm going to talk about getting a pap smear, so you can skip ahead 30 seconds if you want.
It's not really a schmear.
Oh.
It's a smear. But
it's a smear, then a
time we had a little levity
then a
in
smear.
here.
Well, so this doctor in the office, it wasn't my normal doctor in there because I had gotten in. She wasn't available, and this doctor, it refuses to talk about anything with me and just completely ignores like all
Male doctor?
woman, thank God.
Okay.
But still, like, she should know better. Ignores everything, every cry for help I've asked for. And then as she's papping me, she just says, "Do you have a dog?" That's the only time she ever treated me human. And then I was like, why are you asking me that? Is there like dog hair on there? I was like, is there a clump of dog hair in there? Because I wouldn't be shocked. My dog sheds a lot. And she was like, oh no, I was just wondering.
Is there a clump of dog?
I'm like, why did you ask that while you're in my vagina? That's a crazy thing to ask me. And I swear to God, clip, clop, cloop, out of the room. Doesn't even, like, address, and she just leaves. She doesn't even say bye. And I was like, I guess I'll get dressed because I'm in a gown.
Were your legs still in the stirrups?
Yes. And she doesn't, because usually they're like, okay, you can get dressed now, like,
Right.
whatever. Nothing. Leaves, and then I was like, I guess I'll get dressed, and then I open the door, and I'm like, am I
If
done?
that was me, I never would have gotten out of the stirrups.
No. It was the craziest experience of my life. And then now I'm at
And
a
that's
new.
saying a lot.
I left. I found a new doctor. I'm obsessed with her. I love her. I emailed my ADHD doctor that had helped diagnose me. She writes me. I think I emailed you this.
Yes.
She writes me a personal essay about how she did the opposite. Like she's like, "Oh, I actually just left the new place you're going, and I'm going to the old place." And then like her whole life story about how she's going through stuff, and then I forget what else. It was so crazy. I was literally just asking for a copy of my ADHD letter to send to my new doctor's office so I could like get on medication for that or like do some more research with someone. And then she writes me this whole thing, and at the end of it she goes, I actually don't know where it is. Excuse me? She's like, it's somewhere in like my files. I'm like, are you my mom?
Did you ever get it?
No. But I found it actually at my house.
Yeah, you didn't know where it was
No.
either.
But like I paid you. You're a doctor. What do you mean you've lost the files that deeply describe my depression? In the letter it talks about your trauma. So it's like in the letter she wrote about everything bad that's ever happened to me. She's written in this letter that's permanently on my file. Where is it? You're telling me you lost it? Where'd you leave it at the coffee shop?
I feel a little bad even laughing about this. I hope this isn't triggering anybody that's listening to it.
Yeah.
Because we do recognize that this is a really serious topic.
Yeah.
But,
and actually,
that's crazy bizarre.
I will go in the beginning of this and add a little clip stating that we are going to trigger warning and like the topics we're going to talk about. But man, crazy town. I should have become a doctor. Apparently anyone can do it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good doctors out there who just will sit and
I do have I have my doctor now. Incredible. I love her so much. And she makes me feel comfortable and safe, and when I say things like I don't want to be here anymore, she doesn't go in my vagina and say, "Do you have a dog?" So that's something. There's something to be said about that.
And I told you the story about my doctor saying, Where's your urethra? I can't find your urethra.
As if you know where it is.
Like, I don't even.
Oh my God! Didn't
Isn't
you
that
say
insane?
what? I don't know where my what is where and what.
That happened in the 70s.
Oh my!
And I know it happened
God.
because of my diary.
Yeah, she was reading that to me today.
But in terms of doctors, like, I've been seeing a lot lately, and I took Hillary with me to take notes, and she did a fine job. She started by drawing a picture of a cat. I don't know if we can get a close up of the
Wait,
cat.
she goes, "Did you write that down?" After the
Yeah.
first the nurse had come in to like ask questions, and she looks down at my paper, and I just drew.
She drew a picture of a cat.
I just did a doodle of a
I'm
cat.
at a very serious doctor's appointment.
No.
And it says, my mom's doctor notes. Actually, something was crossed. She said, my mom's doctor's notes. Apparently, she misspelled doctors.
I was writing my mother's diaries by accident, and so and then I was trying to do a play off of my mother's diary, so I wrote my mother's doctor's notes. I need you to see the notes. I wrote absolutely nothing down.
That's not actually accurate. She wrote me a lot of notes.
Wait, I did? Where?
That document. You did.
Oh,
you
I
took
did?
a lot of, you did.
Like, no, I didn't.
But this, I laughed when I found it the other day. I'm like, I got to bring that up on the pod. So,
To be called out, like, well, to be fair, it was just she was doing vitals for you at the beginning where they
Yeah.
always do it. So I was just like,
so she's fading out.
I'm just like doodling in the corner, and she's like, "Did you get that?" You said, "What was my blood pressure?" And I was like, "I don't know." And she's like, "What? You didn't write it down?" And I was like, "No, but I did draw this cat."
Yeah, that's what happens when you bring somebody with ADHD to your doctor's appointment.
Okay, just saying I could be a professional appointment goer at this point, taking
you're
notes.
good, though.
I am good at taking notes, so
Yeah.
let's not fake news this.
Okay.
Because I've had to do it for a lot of people recently.
Yeah.
So if you need someone to go with you, do some.
She's
I do
available for hire.
I do artwork and take great notes.
So last night or the night before, I'm on my portal for my medical issues, and I see a report I've never read before about me. And so,
How are you finding all these reports?
there's a lot of reports on my portal about me.
Reports on my portal.
Yeah. And so this happens to be a report from you were at this appointment with me. This is the same appointment where you were taking notes. And this is
This was the doctor we really
this
loved.
was a line. Yeah, this is a doctor we really love. This is a line from the report. You ready?
Oh no, I'm scared.
Strikes me so funny. Because I was like, I read it and I'm like, what? She, being me, she occasionally consumes alcohol.
Wait.
Sorry to the audience. She occasionally consumes alcohol during the daytime.
What?
I know that's not hilariously funny, but it makes it sound like she's a day drinker.
Wait, she's sober.
Yeah, I don't drink.
She's been sober for like 20 something
About 25 years.
25 years sober.
Nothing came up about alcohol during.
What?
She occasionally consumes alcohol during the daytime.
Wow.
I just think it would be funny if it was she occasionally consumes alcohol.
You know
But,
where
like,
you would be? Judy's in Bangor. That's our favorite daytime bar that we don't drink at. We just watch. And we've only been.
That's for another time.
We've only been once.
Yep. Anyway, I cracked up. Like, how did that get in there? In the daytime, even.
That's funny. They must have like like a checkbox where they're like drinks occasionally daytime.
So,
Oh my god. That's amazing. I love that.
Then one time, this is one more doctor story, unless you have another one. So I go to my doctor,
Mm-hmm.
a specialist, and this is a doctor I only saw, once. I'd only seen once or twice because there was a huge turnover in the office.
Saw.
What?
I only saw her.
Yeah, only saw her once or twice.
Saw her.
What are you talking about?
That's how you say it.
Oh.
And
So I said, so should I come back in like 6 months, a year? And she kind of leans in conspiratorially.
yeah. Good
And
word.
She said, yes, you should come back, but I won't be here. But don't tell them at the desk. I haven't told them I'm going to resign.
Did she know she was telling the biggest yapper in town?
So I have to go out. And she's checking the calendar. She's going, Dr. Smith only has afternoon appointments back, blah, blah, blah. But you can get in with her at blah, blah. And I have to make this fake appointment.
That's crazy.
In order to save the face of the doctor.
You did a good deed.
But
like,
so, but
she should not have told you that, because then you're wasting your time.
Why did she tell me? She's like, but you won't be seeing me.
We got a thing where people tell us things.
Right.
Then we have to hold that information.
Right.
It's very...
I felt like I was doing something deceitful by making the appointment out at the front desk. And sure enough, she left. So this is taking a drastic turn.
What's new?
Last night we were talking about what we could talk about on the podcast to kind of get a theme.
Mm-hmm.
And
was doctors not the theme?
Doctors was the theme.
This is Act 2?
This is Act 2.
Okay.
And then we were having a serious conversation about the things that you might get from me when I die. And you told me all you ever got from your dad was his bathrobe.
Wait.
Did I tell that badly?
First of all, yeah, you kind of gave away the
ending.
Yeah. But my dad, you know what? This is going to be a serious episode. Let me get situated here. Okay, so my dad passed away when I was 19. Or 18, technically. He passed away a week before my 19th birthday.
Terrible.
It's not funny, but it's funny how you just said that.
Well, it's terrible.
Terrible. It's terrible. It is terrible. It was awful. I loved my dad a lot, and he was... You think my mom and I are close? My dad and I were very, 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 very close.
You were closer with your dad than you are with me?
No, I don't think that's true, but maybe at the time.
Yeah, maybe.
I wasn't as close to my mom to be...
Yeah, we were divorced.
We did... Yeah, my mom and I were divorced.
Yeah, that too.
But I lived with my dad, and I decided to go to college out near my dad because I wanted to be with him. And I was like, that old lady's going to live forever. She's never dying. She can spend a couple of years away from me. But I think that is an interesting thing that we could talk about maybe later, and we've alluded to before. Like, I think after my dad died, we did become very close, and as adults, we became good friends, which is, I think, a positive that came from something awful. My dad didn't have much, but he did have like a lot of, he traveled a lot when he was younger and had some like knickknacks around the house, and like his clothes. I mean, obviously, like, I'm a vintage seller. I hold a lot of value in clothing, and I think it tells a story, and that's part of the reason why I love vintage, because I'm like, who wore this dress? Like, where has this dress lived before me? Or like, who was the old lady that had this scarf before me? Anyways, so the one thing I was able to snag during this time was his bathrobe. And it kind of, in a way, grosses me out. Like, I'm like, oh, this is my dad's bathrobe. Like, that's weird. But I will say, like, my dad was sick for a long time, and a lot of his time was spent like in bed. Like I picture him like cozy in his bathrobe, just
Right.
like in his PJ. He's always had his PJs and then his bathrobe over it. Uh, and he would just be like in bed watching, I don't know, Dog the Bounty Hunter, uh, and eating ice cream with our dogs. And so, anyways, that is like the one thing that I have from him, and it makes me laugh. It's just kind of hanging in my room as if it's my bathrobe. And I have worn. There's a couple times that I've been like really sad, and I'll put it on, and it makes me feel cozy and like warm, and like he's around me. So, yeah, I don't know. It is a funny thing to grab because I'm not taking your gross bathrobe with me. That thing has. Actually, I just put it in the washing machine for you.
Thank you.
So it has been washed, but I've seen too much. And that maybe like down the road we can talk about. I'd love to talk about my dad and just tell some stories about him. We have like talked about him before,
Right.
but it's kind of why we're doing this. Like I don't have this with my dad.
Right.
I didn't get to know him as a true adult. So it's really fun to like get to know you and hear your stories because I didn't get that with him. And to have it recorded and that people like to listen to it is really, really cool. This is a serious F. I didn't swear.
Good.
Wait, did I say series as F? I meant serious as F episode that we didn't want to do, but we're doing it anyways.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened.
I don't know, but I kind of like it. It's nice. It feels, you know, genuine. Clunky.
I can end that part about your dad for today with a funny story.
I'd like that.
Okay. So your dad and I split up when you were 10, so that was 2000. And that was when cell phones were just becoming popular. Like flip phones.
Flip phone.
Flip phones. And you could text on them, but I didn't know how at that point. And so I got this message, and you were living in Tennessee. And I thought it was from you. It was sent to me. Oh, this is 2005.
You have what it said?
So it said.
Wait, can I just pause here? So when we lived in Tennessee, my dad was pretty sick.
Yeah.
At that point, which is why we had moved out there for better doctors and better weather. And anyways. Yeah, carry on.
So I get this message, and it says, my first message to my best friend and the woman I love foreverest, mostest, and bestest. And so I thought that was from Hilary.
What?
And I repeat, it said, my first message to my best friend and the woman I love foreverest, mostest, and bestest.
I would never text you that, by the way.
And so I immediately responded, all without any spaces in it. I just immediately responded with, I love you too. And I don't know. I don't know how soon afterwards, but it was shortly afterwards.
I do remember this.
Your father had meant to send that to your stepmother.
Spoiler alert. Well, should I say this?
No.
Okay. Never mind. No spoilers for you guys.
So funny that I would get this message from your dad and think it's from you, and he thinks he's sending it to your
Oh
stepmom.
my God.
The
But
woman I love foreverest, mostest, and bestest.
Didn't he call you right after?
Probably,
He
yeah.
did, because you guys, I mean, the thing with that situation is I'm pretty sure he called you a couple of times. And I remember you guys speaking and then him saying my stepmom was pulling into the garage and he had to leave and he would hang up.
All these funny episodes and
We've got no more humor left.
yeah. Oh, yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. I think I think this is great. I think it's good to have these conversations. And I will say, I am so proud of you because I think when we first started this, she was extremely scared of touching any sort of more serious topic at all because it's scary. We're putting ourselves out there.
Right.
And I think doing this process has been cool with you because you have opened up a lot more.
Yeah, well, I realize nobody's listening.
Really? Because I'm having the opposite problem where I'm like, oh no, people are listening and we actually have to keep making this podcast.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. But if you are here, I know we joke about it all the time, no one's listening. There are people listening, and this is amazing. Like, it amazes me that even one person listens to this, and the fact that a couple hundred of you are listening to this is like,
We like it.
it's so cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to us talk about ourselves. That's a couple of nobodies
And on that
trying to be somebodies.
and on that note,
You think we're done?
I think we're done.
Okay. I am going to spend this moment before we end. Oh, wait. We should say bye. Thank you. And thanks to Dead Gowns for our opening song. And who else am I thanking? Us for watching this after we...
Us?
Thank you to us for watching, for enduring the edit of this podcast. And thank you to you, the listener, for listening to this podcast. Can you tell your friends so we can start making money on this? Because that'd be neat. We get a lot of influencer emails, but they're never anything cool.
Right.
We do get like weight loss supplements.
I wonder why. They're obviously watching YouTube and not listening to it.
Okay. We love you.
Love ya.
Bye.